So, actually, something really weird's happening. Um, I'll try to recap kind of what's going on. Several days ago, I came to a place in my teaching where I felt like the teaching was complete and I had said enough that. For you, Shan. Um, I'd said enough that I was like, really? That's not enough. I haven't earned my way out of this situation. And, salad in my teeth, sorry. um, sucker. And what it felt like was that there was an enormous psychic storm at that moment. And I felt like at least one of my crew, and maybe all three of them, came to the same conclusion after all the Moses materials. And it was just a complete cacophony of thoughts and feelings that took over my mind and body and rendered me speechless, practically crippled. And I, disappeared from Twitter and just laid in bed and dealt with it. and then the next day, and I thought, see, this is the thing, is that telepathically I received all of this information. And if it was that simple, then I would know exactly what was going on, because telepathically I've been told and shown just exactly what's going on. But in dealing with, I suppose I might as well just talk to you, Shannon. I guess I'll talk to all of you guys, my crew, because I feel like, well, back up. I'll talk to you, Shannon. In the past, several months ago, Jezebel came through as an imposter spirit, and she convinced me that she was your energy signature. I would imagine that it was kind of like when you were fucking the Antichrist and she took on my energy signature in order to seduce you. Jezebel took on your energy signature in order to convince me that you had opened your heart to me. And so, at the time, she convinced me that you were going to reply to me. And so I believed that, and I talked to you over Twitter as if that were true. And it was a very intense experience. It's all on record. Everybody can read it. And then there was nothing. So it was a trick. So I completely shut myself off from you telepathically so that that would never happen again. So it caused me to doubt my telepathy, and especially where you're concerned. Anthony and Trevor, where you're concerned, I barely have used any telepathy with you because we don't have a close enough relationship. It's not easy for me to get an energetic signature on somebody that I don't know, and so I don't spy on you energetically the way I have with Shannon and the way I always do with Russell. So anyway, I've never had to worry about imposter spirits with you because I don't connect with you telepathically. But so when this happened and all this telepathic information came in from all of you, and that includes you, Russell, I had all four of you in my head, and my heart and my body, my gut, because that's the thing, is I feel it throughout my whole body. It is debilitating when there is a storm. Molder rolling on the floor. That's me. If I were in a stairwell, if I were trying to get up a flight of stairs, I would fall and roll on the floor, and I would be crippled by this. So all this telepathic information has come through from all of you about what's going on, and I don't trust it. And it's not only telepathic information, it's signs. I've had, it's all on record, a ridiculous number of signs that Shannon, your email is in my inbox. And see, I want that to be so. I want it so much that I feel like I can't face it again if it isn't there. Even though that's ridiculous, because of course I can. So that's not really what I'm feeling. What I'm really feeling is the fear that it is there, and everything that means. And now I have to be a little more quiet. I like blow pops. Because you get the bubble gum out at the middle and it doesn't have any artificial sweeteners. I loathe and despise artificial sweeteners. They poisoned Ivy. Their days are over. But anyway, so it's like the tables have turned, and I'm pretty sure that this morning you called me, Shannon, because you were up all night missing me. And the thing is that if I could just get myself to believe that, I would do anything for you. And you're my heaven. And you coming back to me is my heaven. And you coming back to me is everybody's heaven. So, so I'm struggling with that. I'm struggling with believing that your soul could ever come back, even though that's what I've worked for 11 months. Well, longer than that, because, on the beach, of course, we struggled, fought, whatever, worked, did our work. So I'm struggling with that, and I'm also struggling with the fear of success, what this means. It's time for me to be Jesus. It's time for me to be Jesus. And so I'm dealing with that. And telepathic information and signs would suggest that, it doesn't mean it's true, but I will say that the telepathic signs, especially telepathic information, the signs have been mostly about you, Shannon, although you, Anthony, and you, Trevor, have come up with, your songs and whatnot at moments which would suggest that they were a message from you. But mostly the signs have been about Shannon, the bride, of course, wedding of the Lamb, and so God's going to give you another belch. The telepathic information would suggest that all three of you have left me at least one email, and maybe many, thus completely flipping the situation around to where you're now waiting for me to reply to you, now that you believe that I'm Jesus, and you believe that I'm your Savior, and you know how badly you need me. And I'm not punishing you. I just have trained myself to do whatever I'm going to do regardless of what anyone else is doing, and to completely disregard what it seems like you want, because what you've wanted is my death. You can say, oh, well, I didn't want you dead, whatever, but the choices you made would have led to my death. Um, but that's the demons. The demons were trying to kill me through you. I'm not blaming you, I get it, but that's what I'm used to living with. So, I'm having an extremely difficult time seeing you any other way. Um, yeah. I'm having an extraordinarily difficult time expecting anything other than that from any human being. I love the human being and I talk to the soul while the demon inside them tortures me. That's been my life for a year now. So that's what I'm dealing with, and now I'm trying to take care of myself, and I don't know if I should be psyching myself up to check my email or just taking care of myself and waiting until I want to check my email. But if my heaven's in there, why wouldn't I want to check it? Well, because my heaven's overwhelming. God's playing that song, Rise. The fear of shame and rejection. That line always resonates for me because, yeah, my heart is paralyzed because I have felt nothing but pain and rejection at your hands this whole time. So I'm being asked to believe in something that seems impossible to me. Maybe we should watch that sermon. Maybe we will. And I have to deal with that, and I have to deal with the fact that if it is in there, my old life is over. You know, it's my hell world, but it's what I know. So here's me understanding a little bit, at least, why you would hold on to your sewer rather than embrace the Christ when she offers you your heaven. So God's letting me know what that feels like. Because Talia, let's say Talia rather than God, just because Talia writes the plan, she's the story writer up there. She has let me have some, I don't know, I don't think it is free will. I don't actually think it is, because I don't have any free will, but sometimes I've had more and less permission to make choices. When I was human-ish, when I was living my pre-awakening life, I had much more of an illusion of free will. I had much more ability to slide around and do what I wanted to do. Not really sin, but I was angry all the time, and I didn't feel like I felt like somehow I didn't have control over my life, but I still didn't feel that much different from what the humans around me seemed to be experiencing. Now I don't have any free will. There's not even a shadow of free will. But this is like a shadow of free will. Either that or God is flat out, or Talia is flat out, repelling me from checking that email because she doesn't want me to check it yet. And yet she's giving me all these signs that the emails are in there. So there's part of me that's like, well, if they're in there, shouldn't I be checking it? And then there's part of me that's like, don't check it. Then it's like, well, then what do I do? Well, I've been trying to talk on Twitter and play music and play videos, but now I've gotten to the point where I'm just distracted by the situation itself, and that's all I can think about. Now that song. We see Jesus face to face. No more suffering. I wish that I could fast forward 24 hours into having made the decision, because it's the stepping over the threshold that it seems impossible. Going from where I've been to someplace different. And I don't know how to even define the fear that I feel. What is it a fear of? It's so stupid, because how can I be afraid of being hurt? That's all I've been for 11 months is hurt. Hurt and hurt and hurt for 11 months. I've been hurt. So, and I've obviously handled it, so it's not that. It can't be that. It can't be that. It can't be. It has to be a fear of success. It has to be a fear of my destiny. It has to be a fear of the end. The happy ending. And the fear of stepping out and being who I am and what I am, with no more reservations. I mean, obviously I'm not going to come out publicly to the whole world right away, but this is it. Just this is the song that must be telling me to check my email. There will be a day. There will be a day with no more tears, and no more pain, and no more fears. There will be a day when the burdens of this place will be no more. We'll see Jesus face to face. And now I'm the one holding that day back. And I have to make this decision and take this action all by myself. God. It's crazy because I feel like the loneliness of having to take this action all by myself is just like an inverted cyclone of emptiness, the loneliness. And yet, if the emails are in there, my loneliness is over. And if they're not, it's business as usual. At this point, looking at it, finding there was nothing, and then dealing with pain and wrath would be comfortable, would be what I'm used to. I would know how to handle that. And then I would feel unstuck, because right now I feel totally stuck, totally stalled at an intersection. So it has to be fear of success. And yet, the resistance feels insurmountable. And I still don't know what I'm going to do. But I guess I'll post this video just to show everybody where I'm at, what I look like after my shower. On September 27th at 5:26 p.m.